Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Zoic Spotlight. My name is Sarah Clow, and today I'm going to be interviewing affiliate marketer and YouTuber Leon Angus. In this interview, Leon is going to share some advice for alternative monetization strategies if you've been impacted by the Amazon commission cuts. Leon also shares some plugins, blogging courses, and tools that he can't live without for anyone of any technical range. So this is going to be a really great interview. Stay tuned. Want to ask, and this is the way I start all of these, what kind of made you get into affiliate marketing and why, and then when? Like, how long have you been doing this?
In regards to affiliate marketing, I'm relatively new in comparison to quite a lot of marketers.
Yeah.
So I've got about 2 years experience
Okay.
in the field. And the reason for me getting involved with affiliate marketing specifically was mainly due to me failing with a previous business. I opened up a physical store that I used to have selling like food and beverages. So I had that for about maybe a year and a half, 2 years. And, we was able to turn over a lot of revenue, but not so much profit wise. So I was looking for a way to basically drive a vast amount of revenue and reduce my expenses heavily. So that's what led me on to looking into online business in general, because I knew that it had a low barrier to entry. As with everyone, when I came to the internet, I was presented with quite a few business opportunities. So I looked at like drop shipping, Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing. What I liked about affiliate marketing is the fact that you don't have to create your own product. You don't need a big capital investment to actually start with it. The upside is like limitless. And on top of that, like you don't handle any customer service or you're not front facing with anyone. So you could be like just someone randomly in the middle of a room somewhere and make a crap ton of money, So that was my idea of a good opportunity. I didn't have a lot of cash to invest into this. So I thought, okay, this would be a good shout to actually get involved with. And that's where it started.
So when you first started, I mean, did you see a lot of success in the beginning, or was it kind of hard, to find momentum? Like, what was it like for you?
So at the beginning, I never had much success. I initially started off with paid advertising. So that's how I got involved, and I was promoting CPA products like cost per action marketing and running like Facebook ads to it, and promoting these products on Instagram as well. And I started growing Instagram accounts and promoting it, but I've never really had much success over month, and that was for a good like 6 months.
How did you stay persistent? Were you taking like courses online, or were you learning from people on YouTube?
A lot of it, when I was starting out, I was watching a lot of YouTube. It was also like I did purchase a course at the time, which wasn't really the best course looking back on it with what I know now. One of the things that specifically helped me in regards to staying persistent was reading books, which is quite different to what you might expect. And that's purely because one of the books that stood out to me specifically, Grinding It Out, which is the book on McDonald's, Ray Kroc. He's the guy who came in and took McDonald's from where it was into the conglomerate that it is now. For me, I always had this outlook on life that once you get to a certain age or a certain stage, you're always going to get tired and whatever else. And that whole book, the reason why it's called Grinding It Out is because he was ruthlessly persistent. I analyze, like the way that we work as humans. That's what I read a lot about, is like how to kind of maintain a high level of energy. There's different stages that we go through. Where the interception has to come is like in the belief state. If you can change your belief on something, then inherently you're going to take action with it. That's what I decided to do, was basically change my mindset and my belief systems. By doing that, obviously also seeing other people that had success gave me proof of concept.
You bought a course when you first started. I feel like that is a lot of people's first move. Did you ever purchase any more, or are there any courses that you have heard really good things about or that you would recommend?
Since then I've purchased many courses. I don't really measure in how many courses I've purchased, but I do know that it equates to over 7,000 UK pounds. I'm always consistently trying to improve. As well as that, because I'm obviously an influencer as well, it's my
Hmm.
job to actually go out and test the materials that are
Hmm.
available. And as I grow with experience, I can obviously take a better kind of analyzation of each course that I take. If I was to recommend any courses, I would definitely recommend Matt Diggity's Affiliate Lab.
I've heard
That's
good
a
things.
brilliant course for
Yeah.
SEO, and I'm very technical minded, so it was the perfect course because everything's broken down into testing and results from the tests, so that's brilliant. But I wouldn't recommend it for people who are brand new. If you're
Yeah.
completely to SEO, it's not beginner friendly.
Yeah.
Whereas he has tried to tailor it for that, because I think that's where the vast majority of customers are.
Yes.
Yeah, but if I wouldn't have known or understood that the concepts within the course back when I started out, so now I'm able to take it on from a different perspective. Another course that I would recommend, if you just are a complete beginner and you don't really have a clue with building blogs or websites or anything like that, then I would definitely say Income School's Project 24. That's a brilliant
Hmm.
course. Both of them are very good and very beginner friendly, so that will give
Yeah.
you the key concepts to creating content and ranking with that. And then if you really want to take it up to the next level and compete with highly competitive industries, then obviously I would recommend the Affiliate Lab. And that's specifically two courses that I'd recommend on SEO and blogging. But
Yeah.
if I were to recommend a course just generally about affiliate marketing, then I would recommend Savage Affiliates by Franklin Hatchett. Franklin Hatchett's course covers like paid advertising. So you've got
Okay.
pay-per-click, you've got Facebook ads, email marketing, and he covers like, promoting different types of products, like whether it be from ClickBank, CJ affiliates, all different
Hmm.
methods and techniques in there.
What advice do you have for picking a profitable niche? I saw on your YouTube channel you have a few videos covering this.
I actually break down niche selection into two sections, because this is nothing that I've been taught, but just through my experience, how I've
Hmm.
been able to kind of boil down different types of websites. So I don't really think it's talked about a lot, but there's two different types of sites that you have. There's review sites, and then there's like blogs, like
Hmm.
general kind of websites. And blog style, it's more like informational based,
Yeah.
so I'm usually on a ratio of like 80% information, 20% review articles, like commercial content, or reversing that, 80% commercial and obviously 20% informational. Now, depending on what kind of website you're going to choose will depend on how you do your research. If I were to do a review type website, then I'm going to make that specifically on like a problem. That's for a niche website specifically. If you're going to make that bigger, then you might do that a bit differently. Whereas for an informational site, I use Wikipedia's hobbies list, because that's usually based around some kind of interest or hobby.
Hmm.
And that allows you to get into different industries where there's not a lot of competition, purely because you can monetize with ads over products.
Uh-huh.
So the way I actually analyze a niche is, once I've established, the kind of site that I'm going to build. I mean, for someone brand new, you might not know whether you'd want to do a review or information or anything
Yeah.
like that. A good way to kind of understand whether that's what you would want to do is purely to ask yourself the question is, do you want to learn backlink, all the technicalities of SEO, or do you want a simple process? If you look for a simple process, then focus on an informational based website.
Okay.
And just looking back at your past history, you can usually fact check and see how technical you really are. I come from a motorsport engineering background, so I'm very mechanical minded. Whereas the same as what I found with like Matt Diggity, but then you've got like Project 24 who are very informational based, and their past track records reflect that. A few things is, if you're going to be monetizing with like something like Amazon, which is probably not the best thing to do now, or if you are going to be monetizing with ads, I mean, I wouldn't really analyze advertising return on investment,
Hmm.
because sometimes that's hard to get hold of that information. But
Yeah.
I'd usually look at the average payout for like the best products within the niche. Yeah, so say for example you're going to build a site about dog training or something, you might go and look at the payouts for dog training courses that you're going to recommend, yeah, or products that you're going to recommend, just to get a general idea of how you're going to monetize. Then the next thing is, I would look at if it's seasonal. I personally wouldn't recommend a seasonal niche for someone who's starting out, because they're not generally going to be prepared for the inconsistencies of the income. So
Hmm.
I usually would say go with something that going to generally make income throughout the whole year. And the other thing is as well, I would also say, like, for the long term, to have an exit strategy. Like, so do you want to sell it, or do you want to build a
Okay.
network of websites?
Yeah.
So that's going to make a difference on how you build these sites in the first place. Because if
Yeah.
you're building it purely to sell it on, you might take a general approach of maybe doing, like, link building and all these different things that
Uh-huh.
might bring elements of risk. Whereas if you're trying to do this for a long term kind of project, then you might not even go with niche sites altogether. You might go into like a authority site, something that's going to completely change your income dramatically. And that's generally what I do. I mean, I used to look on Amazon if I was going to create an Amazon site, and make sure that it has a good selection of products over $100 and whatever else. But I mean, at this stage, as I said, with the changes given, it doesn't look like Amazon's a very good opportunity for people to start with.
How has the Amazon commission cuts kind of affected the way that you do business? Have you been changing your strategies, your revenue streams?
There was some level of effect that happened to my websites with Amazon affiliate. Predominantly, I'm monetizing with Amazon across the majority of my sites. I've got 4 sites in total. There was changes, but I've always been kind of optimistic with, monetizing with different products anyway, like different networks. Although it's been a change, I was mentally prepared for the change. So one of the things that I'm personally doing is heading over to, like, like, say, for example, I've got like a top 10 review list or something like that on a buyer intent article. I'll head over to Amazon and see if the actual vendor has an affiliate program. So I would see the vendor that's
Okay,
listing the product on Amazon, go to their official website, and then see if they have an affiliate program there.
great
But there's
idea.
2 things that I'm looking for when I do that. One of them being it needs to have a good landing page, because
Okay,
obviously ultimately that's where the sale is going to convert. And then also I'm looking for a good payout, because it has to compensate for the low amount of sales. The conversions that you get are going to be a lot lower than
yeah.
on Amazon.
Hmm.
So to compensate for that, you obviously want a higher commission rate payout. So that's an alternative way. Another way is to go and look at competitors' websites and see if they're monetizing with third-party vendors. So if you go and type in your same product, say for example, best dog collars 2020, if you go and type that in, you can go and check the results and see if they're monetizing with other products than Amazon,
Okay.
especially given the circumstances. There's going to be a lot of those bigger sites that are going to be swapping those links out. So you can potentially go and sign up to the same programs as them as well.
Do you
Yes,
like to have it like separate where it's display ads on one site and affiliate on the other, or do you mix them?
I mixed the two purely because I never ran like an exact test on this, but just through by eye, I was just taking a look to see if I see any dramatic change. Um, the site that I have with Zoic wanted to see if I saw, like, an increase or consistency in income with affiliate side, or a drop when I apply ads to the site. And I have to say, not just saying it because I'm on an interview with you, but Zoic is brilliant, because I never saw any kind of a negative effect on my site. I mean, as we'd expected with any kind of advertising placed on your site, page speed loading time is a little bit slower than before, but not to the point where it's a problem. And there are things like Site Speed Accelerator that help improve that as well. I've still continued to see a growth in traffic. User experience metrics are very good. I have them even on the commercial articles as well, because initially I was thinking put it on the informational articles only, but it's working well across the board.
And that's something too I think people used to be kind of afraid of is mixed revenue model sites. And I think for a long time there was the perception that if you put ads on the site, then you're not going to get conversions, you're not going to get sales for your affiliate links. And I was
Mhm.
actually talking to Amelia Gardner about this on a past interview, and she said, it's when Matt Diggity came out with, a YouTube video, and he was the one to like say display ads will not affect your affiliate sales. They might actually help the conversions. And so I think obviously, if people are skeptical about something, they're going to stay
Mhm.
skeptical about it for a
Mhm.
while. I don't know, maybe with the Amazon commission cuts that maybe people will be more
Mhm.
open to making mixed revenue model sites.
Definitely. I think it's also very helpful because different readers have different intentions. Like some are committed to coming in, giving an email or joining an email list. Some, are not committed to anything and they're just coming for some information. So that's a way of monetizing those people, because some people are not intentionally coming to make a purchase or anything like that. It allows you to monetize all types of content on your website.
I do want to ask you, because you've been doing this for 2 years, are there any tools or plugins or products that you've trialed or tested over the past 2 years that you can't live without now that you would recommend?
I would definitely say one of the tools that I use Ahrefs as well, but I wouldn't say I can't live without it.
Uh-huh.
One of the tools that I use that I couldn't live without is a dirt cheap tool, and it's
Really?
keysearch.co. It's just a very cheap keyword research tool, but it works very well. So I've found some great keywords using that tool, but alternatively, obviously, you could use SEMrush or something like
Yeah.
that.
Have you used the others and kind of compared in between? You still prefer that one?
Yeah, no, that one. The reason why is because it's so reasonably priced. So I think
Yeah.
that's for what it does. It's very cheap, and I've compared it with some other tools within that kind of
Yeah.
price range. Again, I mean, obviously you're gonna get like a complete different experience because due to the size of the index and accuracy with
Mhm.
something like Ahrefs or SEMrush. A tool that I would say that I use excessively at the moment as well is definitely going to be Surfer SEO for my on-page analysis, because one of the things that I used to have difficulty with gauging was keyword density.
Mhm.
No one ever knows how many times you put the keyword. Then the usual code of practice is to go to the top 10 sites and go like do a command F or whatever and see how many times they're using it per 1,000 words and work out an
Yeah.
average. But I mean, this tool just does all of that for you, gives you all of the information, of secondary keywords that you might not have thought of. And one of the key areas of why it's so beneficial is purely because it analyzes if you're over optimized, that can hurt you dramatically.
I am really interested as to kind of when and why you started documenting your experiences and what you know. So your YouTube channel is very successful and you have a ton of content on there. When did you
Mm.
decide that you wanted to start doing that on top of, just building passive income and building websites yourself? When did you decide you wanted to teach other people how?
One of the reasons why I specifically started a YouTube channel, I wanted to. I never really had a lot of friends within the same community, so that was one of the reasons, because I wanted to basically network with other people through my content. I also there wasn't so many people from the UK
Mhm.
who were doing like affiliate marketing and niche websites and whatever else, So there's a guy called Charles Float who does like affiliate SEO in the UK, but within the kind of sector that I see, like with Amazon associates and all that kind of thing, I never really saw anyone from the UK. So that was my driving force to be like, you know what, there's a massive gap here. I can become the authority within that space. So that was one of my reasons. The other thing is I wanted to share my experience with attempting to go from not knowing anything to knowing some things, So I think that's very important. For me, it was just purely to just network and just document and grow. And I think it also holds me accountable. Like for example, if I say, "Oh, I'm going to do this amount of content next month," I can't show up to like a couple thousand people and be like, "Oh, hey," and I never got up to it. I never did it. They're going to be like, "What's going on," sort of thing. So it keeps you in line, So
Yeah.
you have to continue to deliver when you have an audience.
I mean, when I look at your videos, it seems that you have some kind of experience in kind of creating video content, editing. Did you just kind of dabble in that, pick that up as you went along, or did you have an interest in that before?
I just learned that all
Yeah.
from yeah, that was like when I started. So you can see a natural progression if you go back to my old videos when I started with a phone and stuff like that. And I was
Mhm.
just like walking around with a phone. And then as things I said, like, because back then I was using like I started off with like an iMac, and then I kept upgrading everything. Like I upgraded the camera, but I said it would all be through the the money that I make with the business, so
Hmm.
everything I just reinvested. And now I've got like an i9 laptop, I don't know, Mac 4K screen and £1,000 camera and all of that. But it's all just over time, keep upgrading in correlation with your income.
Do you
And
think
that's
this
it.
is something that you'll kind of continue to invest as much time as you do now, just kind of building your personal brand, whether it be YouTube or your website or one-on-one coaching? Do you think you focus more of your time on your portfolio of websites?
Specifically, I would say that more of my time is going to be focused on the websites,
Mhm.
because that's the thing that's like the bloodline of everything. Without that, there is nothing. There's no YouTube. I don't have anything to deliver if I have no projects. That's where my focus is going to be, and that's where the most income I'd probably generate is going to be. To be fair, I know a lot of people sell courses and whatever else, and I could make more money probably selling courses at this point. I'm a strong believer that without ruthless amount of testing, then I personally wouldn't go out and charge people for that information. So coaching calls, I enjoy that at the moment. Obviously, it's quite time consuming because I'm
Mhm.
giving away quite a lot for the amount that I'm charging. But I think it correlates with where I'm at within my marketing journey. And also I'm able to connect with people and on a one-on-one basis. And it also helps me with what content I create in the future as well.
Yeah.
In the future, definitely, I would like to just focus mainly on the websites. Mm,
Thank you so much for coming on my show and being an
that's okay.
interviewee. And that is all for my interview with Leon Angus. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. If you'd like to check out his YouTube channel or his website, I will be linking both of those below. If you'd like to see more Zoic Spotlight interviews, visit the Zoic YouTube channel. And I'll see you on the next episode.